What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know, I'm Billy Perry. I'm bringing back the how-to series I did. I did a how-to bar spin, a how-to crank flip, and like 6 years ago I did a how-to suicide. So we're gonna bring back the how-to Tuesday series. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, but today I'm gonna start with the very basic intro, entry-level BMX trick, the bunny hop. And the bunny hop is the trick that basically, if you're riding BMX, it's like 95% of the tricks that you do are going to somewhat include a bunny hop, unless you're doing flatland BMX or trail riding. The bunny hop is an essential trick to learn on your BMX bike, and the only thing you need is a bike. A common misconception is that you need to be strong to do this trick. You don't. It's all about technique and practice. I'll give you my personal tips and my friend Alex's personal tips, and just stuff that I've seen other people do and trying to get better and learn. It's weird trying to teach you guys how to do this trick because I've been doing bunny hops without thinking about it since I started riding a way long time ago. It's like after a while it's just muscle memory and you don't even think about it, you just do it. So I'm trying to recuperate these thoughts on and tips on how to teach you guys how to do it. But basically it's all in the technique. So what you're going to want to do first is make sure that you're riding your bike. You want to make sure you're riding your bike with whichever foot forward that you're comfortable with. For me, it's right foot forward, and you're going to want to make sure your cranks are level, and this is with every trick. You want this level and this level. You don't want to be like this, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen videos of people trying to do bunny hops or ride off stuff, and they just completely fall forward, and those people usually end up riding with their cranks like this. No, that's not what you want to do. You want to have your cranks level, whether it's your right foot or left foot. That's all personal preference. So ride your bike down the street, feel out which is better for you, and I'm sure you'll figure it out pretty quick. But for me, it's right foot forward, so I'm going to start right here. Before you even try this, you want to get comfortable riding your bike. Just ride it around. You don't want to be, loose and just like all over the place. You want to be comfortable riding down the block at a pretty decent speed before you try any tricks. You just want to have a little bit of bike control, because bike control is everything for riding bikes. So once you feel comfortable trying, riding around a little bit, the first thing you do is pick up your front wheel. So as high as your front wheel goes is as high as you're going to bunny hop. But it's not just picking up the front wheel, but you want to get comfortable just doing this a bunch. Just riding and picking up your front wheel a little bit. And I'm going to teach you guys this in a few separate motions, but all in all, when you try it, it's going to be one motion, one fluid motion. The best place to try this trick is on flat, smooth ground. You don't want to try it, on a rocky pebble ground that if you fall or slip out or something, you're going to scrape up your arms. Even off of something into grass is good, because it gives you a little bit more of a safety net. But a bunny hop is a pretty safe trick for the most part. You're probably not going to fall. The most you're just going to do is not get your wheels off the ground at first. But once you have that, once you're comfortable riding and doing the little pulling up motion, you're going to want to get your back end up. So you want to do a little bit of this. Just get comfortable with picking both your wheels off the ground, whether it be, your front wheel first or your back wheel first. It doesn't really matter. You just want to have a little bit of, you want to get the feeling of having a wheel off the ground. And to get the back up is you just push forward, point your toes down a little bit on the pedals like this, and just bend your knees up and push forward on your bike. Not too hard. You don't want to go crazy with it, but you just want to get comfortable with that feeling of getting one wheel off the ground. Sure, a lot of you guys have seen somebody, grab a bike and try and bunny hop, or they're like, oh, I've ridden bikes back in my day, let me see your bike, and they do one of these, and it's like really sketchy. You don't want to do that. That's not the move. You don't want to do two tires off the ground at the same time. I see people do the two tire things off the ground at first. I don't recommend it, because that's not really how you're going to push forward moving this trick. You're going to get the feeling of having both tires off the ground, but it's going to be hard to progress that way. You want to you want to have your front wheel off the ground, come up, and then back wheel off the ground, and level out and land smooth. So once again, the best place to try and learn this trick is either flat ground, which I recommend, a little bank, which will give you a little bit of boost, a curb cut, which is also good, and as Alex learned them, off a speed bump in the road. And these are all accessible spots. I'm sure you guys have all of these in your town or wherever you live. But right now we're going to focus on the flat ground, and I'll show you guys exactly what a bunny hop looks like. So it's going to help with a little bit of speed. You want to feet level, pull up the front, pull up the back. Once you're comfortable doing that little pull up the front thing and pulling up the back, the next step is, once your front wheel comes off the ground, around like, it could be here, 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 wherever, as high as your front tire goes, as Dan said, is how high you're gonna bunny hop. But also a second important thing is getting your back end up, which a lot of people have difficulty with. So a lot of people, when they try bunny hops, they just go like this, and they can't get the back up. So what I recommend is pointing your toes a little bit down on the pedal so you can scoop the back end up. So you're still level on your cranks, but your foot is pointing down, so when your bike is up here, you're gonna bend your knees up and scoop the back close to your butt, and it's gonna level out the bike. So I'll try and show you guys in slow motion. Do a basic little bunny hop, what might be your first bunny hop. Something like that. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy at first, because it's gonna be very unlikely that you're gonna have a lot of air when you first learn this trick, but as you keep doing them, as you keep practicing, they're gonna progress and you're gonna get higher and more comfortable doing them off stuff. So let's do another little bunny hop. An important part is leveling out, because you don't wanna land too back end heavy and you don't wanna land too front end heavy. It makes the trick a little bit more uncomfortable. So leveling out is all about pushing your bars forward. You're gonna be bent arms like this, and then you're gonna push forward, and as you're pushing forward, your legs are gonna be scooping up the back of the bike. So another little slow motion right here. Another good thing to do while you're learning this trick, if you start noticing you're getting both tires off the ground, you're getting a little bit more comfortable, the best way to progress this trick is jumping over or onto stuff that is a comfortable height and something that's forgiving. So all right, well, shout out to Dan. Boom. We got a perfect little stepping stone on how to learn what to bunny hop over, because this is, yeah, it's super dirty, but this is a flimsy material that is forgiving if you land on top of it. So we're gonna put it sideways. So a lot of people, when they learn how to do bunny hops, they put stuff down on the ground to try and hop over. Like, I know a lot of people use skateboards, because if you hit a skateboard, it will just knock it over and you'll ride right over it. But this is also really good if you have a cone or literally anything that's soft and forgiving. If you land on it, is good to learn how to keep progressing the height. This will also help time your bunny hop, so everything's all in the same motion at the right time, and you'll be able to figure out when you're hopping and how high and far you're gonna hop. Things I don't recommend bunny hopping over are anything that is solid and doesn't move, that is not forgiving. Cinder block, a rail, a chain. Do not hop over a chain, because if you do not make it over a chain, that is one of the scariest and like most deadliest things to hop over, because if you case a chain, any sort of metal chain, it will act like a slingshot, and don't do that. So anything that, like any sort of little object that is soft or gonna fall over if you land on it or don't make it over, is good to learn. Keep progressing. So one of these bad boys, the old speed bump, is a perfect example of how to learn a bunny hop. And also right behind it, we have the curb cut, which is literally a street kicker ramp. It's nothing crazy, so you're not gonna fly to the moon off of it, but it will definitely make it easier to do any sort of hop maneuver. So let's do a couple examples on the bunny hop off the speed bump. This one's a little crunchy, but I'm gonna do it right here. Looks like a good point. So you're just gonna let your front tire ride up, and once your front tire rides up, you're gonna pick up a little bit, and once your back tire hits is when you're gonna start pushing forward and sucking your knees up and leveling out. Same thing applies with the curb cut. If you're just getting comfortable with it, you just gotta let it take you. But once you're going off something that has a drop, never ever ride off and let your front wheel drop, because even on something like this, you don't wanna get in the habit of just rolling off and landing like this. You wanna always land either a little on the back tire to lessen the impact, or you wanna land two tires. Because once you start landing nosedive, if you do it on anything bigger, I'll add some examples right here. People who don't pick up their front tire when they go off things, it's always bad. You just go, because the higher the drop, the more you're gonna go nose down, and then it's just gonna be over. So always make sure your bike's level or land a little bit back tire heavy to lessen the impact. I'll show you what I mean. Just pull up and ride off. When you start doing the bunny hop off of stuff, you'll feel more comfortable by having your tires off the ground. You just want to get more comfortable on your bike and being in the air, and then applying your technique and repetition, trying it on different stuff, and that's how you're going to get better. So before we end this video, I'm just going to give you guys a quick rundown of all the tips that I mentioned before. First, you want to get comfortable lifting your front wheel off the ground. The second is, at the same time you're lifting your front wheel off the ground, you're preparing to push forward on your bars, lock your arms, and then at the same time you're doing that, you're sucking your knees up with your toes pointed down to lift the back end up and leveling out. And another tip is just have confidence. You want to go into this knowing that you're going to learn it, and also be patient, because it might not, like, as with everything else, it might not come right away. You might not have the best and highest bunny hops. Most likely you're not going to have the best and highest bunny hops right away, but as you keep doing them, as you keep trying them, as you keep trying to progress, they're going to get better. I'm still progressing every day, trying to hop over new stuff. So just have confidence, be patient, and be determined to learn this trick. As you're starting to learn this trick, keep it in your comfort zone. You want to obviously push and progress more by hopping over bigger stuff, but you don't want to go right away and hop over the biggest thing or down the biggest stair set you can, that you think you can do. You want to just progress at a safe level that you think is good for you. And as you keep doing that, you'll get better at the trick. So let me know what you guys want to see in the next how-to video next week. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and check out FTOBMX.com. We have a bunch of projects in the work. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.